It has been a disappointing year, to say the least, for both St. Louis and San Francisco, but the coaches, they have a lot to play for here moving forward in the final 6 weeks of the season. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, CBS Sports' Charley Casserly. Glad to be with you on the NFL previews presented by Comcast. And Charlie, Jim Haslett in 5 games, Mike Singletary in 2 games. Have you seen enough to say there's life there, or maybe we're talking about both teams going to go in different directions at the end of the year?
Well, I think both administrations would like to see this work out. Certainly they have to open up the job, and we'll open up the job and interview other candidates. But I think there's certain things that both franchises like about these coaches. Number one, with Mike Singletary, they like his fire, they like his leadership, and I think they got to be happy the way the team responded going on the road to Arizona and taking it right down to the last play of the game. With Jim Haslett, he's an experienced head coach, had some success with the New Orleans Saints. I think they like the turnaround that he had. Their first 3 games, they played very good. Last 2 games haven't been quite as good, but you know, both of these coaches are not playing with playoff talented teams, right. So they both have a lot of work to do there.
And Jim Haslett's been playing without Steven Jackson essentially for the last 3 games. He did play 2 games ago.
And that's huge for them.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the guy that they have to go to. Now, you talked about the Arizona game on Monday night. What did we learn about San Francisco that game?
Well, I think the emotion was the big thing to me, that they come out there and played with emotion, played with fire in a really tough environment. And then they were able to make some plays offensively. Frank Gore in the passing game that gave him a chance to win the game. Clock management probably lost the game at the end for him.
That was tough to handle, and of course Mike Martz this week has come out and said the spot was the problem. Whatever the problem, they still lost the game. Now, Shaun Hill was put in at quarterback because J.T. O'Sullivan was turnover prone. Shaun Hill still had some turnovers there. So is Shaun Hill moving forward? But what you saw from him, especially down the stretch, did you see the positives in that, or did you still see the turnovers as too many negatives?
Well, the turnovers are too many negatives, and I think at the end of the day, Shaun Hill is not good enough to be your starting quarterback in the league. He's in there because supposedly he was going to turn the ball over less than J.T. O'Sullivan. I think at the end of the day, neither one of these are good enough to be a starting quarterback.
What about St. Louis here? Because Mark Bulger's been struggling as well, and of course it's been without Steven Jackson. But you know, 3 years ago, Mark Bulger was Pro Bowl quarterback. It hasn't been the same the last couple of years.
Boy, you know, last year he really struggled and really took a lot of hits, and you know, maybe it took its toll on him. That's the only thing I can think of here, because he doesn't seem, as you pointed out, to be the same quarterback and have the same confidence. Though when Jim Haslett took over, he started off a little bit better. So you know, confidence is such a big factor in any job you have. And if you're not confident, in the players around you, you're not going to play as well. And I sense that with Mark Bulger. He doesn't have the same confidence level he had a couple years ago.
All right, now Steven Jackson did practice this week. He is expected to be back on Sunday. That's a big lift for the 49ers. We'll see if Steven Jackson and Frank Gore get the ball more, because you have 2 fantastic running backs. They should be the focal point of both offenses. Let's see what AccuScore says about this game. 10,000 tests, 10,000 results, all mathematical. Hey, you got 2-2-7. You got a pair of 2-7 teams here, and you've got a blowout on the computer like that. 77% of the time the 49ers win. Maybe they like the fire of Mike Singletary.
Maybe, I don't know. You know, if you go off last week, this thing ought to be 100-0 because of the way St. Louis played against the Jets and the effort San Francisco gave against Arizona. I'm going to go with San Francisco in this game, in a close game. I think Frank Gore rushing the football, and that'll be the key, because he can dominate the line of scrimmage. Him rushing the football. St. Louis' secondary has not played very well this year. Turning it around, I think the 49ers will feed off the emotion last week and hang on to win this football game, though St. Louis offensively should be able to move the ball with Steven Jackson back in the lineup. All
right, it's a 4:05 p.m. Eastern start. For more on this game or any other in Week 11, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. Charley Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.